finally, awarded C4H Liberia a grant to implement a project titled Legislative Engagement to formalize the White Caucus into a standing committees in the national legislature. This grant contributes to PSR WACS project and CWA project Area 1, improve sanitation governance. The CWSA project is managed by a PSR-led consortium of 4 international non-governmental organizations. One of the deliverables under Milestone 2 of the grant entails engagement meetings with white multi-sectoral and actors. Of significant importance to note also that these consultations will be insightful in deriving collaborative ways for addressing the sector's challenges while enabling us to share knowledge and advance suggestions on the need for the establishment of the committees, its composition and responsibilities. Now, turning my attention to this consultation, we will present 2 presentations to include 1, the project overview, highlight on sector challenges, and the CWSA budget analysis. 2, the proposed CSO-led advocacy campaign strategies for the establishment of the White Standing Committees. Using these 2 presentations as the basis, the following are the key objectives of the consultation. 1, to gather deeper insight into the challenges confronting the sectors and get your support for the establishment of the Standing Committee on WACS at the national legislature. 2, to share knowledge on amicable ways to respond to sectors' challenges through collaboration. And 3, to deepen understanding of how oversight and fiduciary responsibility through the Standing Committee at the level of the national legislature remain pivotal to addressing sector challenges. This consultation provides a better forum for renewed engagement. We have the opportunity not only to get feedback on this presentation, but also have sober reflections and brainstorm on ways to enhance collaboration and coordinations, leading to the establishment of the Standing Committee on WACS at the national legislature. As we reflect, we must recognize and appreciate the tremendous efforts and contributions made by the WACS commissions and other actors, which lay a firm foundation of our advocacies going forward. Finally, let me let you know that we are implementing change for improved WACS governance in Liberia. No doubt, our honorable members of the national legislature have received the most valuable information from us when they have the opportunity and occasion to hear directly from us. This informed network, like you, the WACS CSO actors and stakeholders, are supported by our international panels. C4A Liberia says, thank you for your participation at the consultations and values your contribution and partnership and time in our advocacies in favor of and leading to the establishment of Standing Committee on WACS at the national legislations. You are most welcome.
Thank you very much. That was the Executive Director of C4H Liberia, Mr. H. Boyd Badwin. At this time, we want to call to this podium Mr. Matthew Nduti, Chief of Party of PSR Liberia, for a statement.
Good morning, all. Yeah, all the protocol observed. I would like to start by providing a very quick highlight about overview of the CWSA. So the county-wide sanitation activity, for those who have not interacted with us before, is a 5-year, I would say, flagship project for USID. It's funded by USID for the next 5 years to end open defecation in 5 counties. That is quite an ambitious goal, right? These counties are Lofa, Nimba, Bong, Monserrado, Ruro, and Grand Bassa. It is the it's a flagship project because this is the largest funding portfolio from USAID globally today, all towards sanitation. So, and also the largest in Liberia in that case. To achieve this goal, we have 4 main result areas, so it's expected results that we have to deliver. And one is dealing with issues around sanitation governance, both at national level and at the county level. The second piece is sanitation behavior change. We know there's been a lot of actions, and we are putting more emphasis on behavior change in results 2. And the third result area, learning from past experiences, we bring in the role of the private sector in the sanitation, in improving the sanitation markets and how markets play a role, private sector role plays a role in delivering of services and the products that help to solve the quagmire of open defecation. And lastly is the sanitation financing, which, as I know for most of you have noticed, is a challenge over the years. And this is about exploring solutions for households to access solutions for their toilet, and also for the private sector to access financing to extend or expand services and reach communities that are hard to reach. So the activity today that converges us here is tied around result 1, which is sanitation governance. And it is all about working towards bringing a solution around enabling environment. We know there's been a lot of studies. I don't want to talk about all the challenges around this area of governance, but it's about providing enabling environment for sanitation sector to function better. It is also about providing a solution around sanitation financing, both at national level institutions and at the county level. This is the first engagement that CWSA is having with this, which is led by a CSO and which involves CSOs. So it's a great opportunity to meet all of you here and the stakeholders that have been invited and have shown up. We are at a very opportune time when the new government is just taking seats, or is taken seats a few weeks ago, and new appointments are coming. The legislators are also taking seats. This is a great opportunity for CWSA. We have selected C4H as one of the CSO to collaborate or to convene others and coordinate activities that relate to our engagement with the legislators at the national level. And up here, we will be looking upon you to spearhead a course towards elevating the mandate of the current caucus. We've had a caucus which has served quite an important role in the past years, but we felt that the mandate was limited, and therefore there was need for elevation of this caucus to a state of a committee in the House of Legislature. So this is a very important action that we are looking forward to joining hands together. The fact that we have C4H playing a role from the CWSA side doesn't mean that C4H has a solution for all the problems and the challenges in getting us there. But we depend heavily on leveraging on expertise and resources that are available within other CSOs, other international partners, and other advocacy groups to help us steer this course to the expected result. I don't know how many of you have heard about the 100 days commitment of the government, which we are very keen to see how it turns out. And from where we stand, with 1 year of experience on the ground, we would like to recommend the following. 1, a declaration of state of emergency on open defecation. That sanitation is not only solid waste management, it goes beyond that. And this is important as the government crafts the 100 days of deliverable. And the CWSA, with support from USAID and all of us, we are happy to put hands together with the government to deliver whatever results are set or targets that are set within this period. The second recommendation that I would like to highlight is around ensuring there is an enabling environment for private sector to thrive. Working in the sanitation supply chain for the last 1 year, we have struggled with businesses that are struggling to come out. These small and nimble businesses require an enabling environment. They require an environment where they are not overtaxed, where the regulations are not limiting their ability to see the opportunity and harness in the sanitation sector. These are two key recommendations that we would like to highlight from CWS side, and I think as civil society organizations, I would like to urge you to take those on as part of your campaign actions. I would like to thank C4H for taking this very first step in convening this meeting, and also for bringing all the key actors on here, including the WashNet and others. I would also like to thank the government of Liberia for the support that we have enjoyed for the last 1 year, and we're looking forward to more cooperation in the coming years. Other development partners that we've held hands together, UNICEF, USAID, we can't forget to thank you again for providing the resources that we need to make this work happen, and all our other implementing partners and the civil society. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a fruitful session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Matthew. That was a very great remark from PSR Countries Director, Chief of Party, let's say. At this time, we are about to enter a very important aspect of the program, and that will be the first presentation that will be done by two of C4H, two of C4H. I have the master sheet. I see the executive director is moving towards me, and then the program manager as well. But we will go into the first presentation that will be done by C4H. That presentation will be done by Wimmer Jalako and Julius Tupa, our program officer, and then that of the project lead. But before that, we would like to recognize the presence of USAID Liberia, the funder of this all-important project. This program wouldn't have been made possible without the support and funding of USAID, and we have some delegation from there, but they will not be making official remarks at this event. We'd like to say that C4H, through PSR, would like to acknowledge that we are very grateful for the funding that was received to enable C4H facilitate the process of establishing a standing committee on WASH at the legislature. At this time, we will call on the podium Mrs. Wimmer Jalako, Advocacy and Communication Manager of C4H, and also the project lead, and Mr. Julius Tupa, who's the program manager, for the presentation covering project overview, highlights on sector challenges, and CWSA budget analysis. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex, and good morning, everybody. It is an honor to have you all here this morning as we take small of your time in agreeing as a team to ensure that we have a standing committee established in the national legislature. So thank you so much for honoring our invitation. And this segment is a presentation on the overview, highlights on sector challenges and budget analysis. And we took our approach from Neil Armstrong's quote, which states, a quote, is one small step for man, and one giant leap for a mankind, unquote. This presentation contains the purpose of the request for application, the key resource areas, the context of the project strategies, our area of work, the county-wide sanitation activity budget analysis findings, and expected results from this setting, including our partners. The county-wide sanitation activity focuses on four key resource areas: improve sanitation governance, adoption of key sanitation behaviors, strengthen sanitation markets, and increase financing for sanitation. And the purpose of this project focuses on two of the resource areas: improve sanitation governance, and increase financing for sanitation. And our scope of work, we intend, our responsibility is to advocate, and advocacy leading to the establishment of the WAS Standing Committee. That's our key priority. And we have to engage with legislators and other key stakeholders like you are here today to secure agreement on the mandate, priorities, and composition of the Standing Committee, and to support the drafting, amendment, and passage of a resolution establishing the Standing Committee. What are the sector challenges? This is something, but just to give a highlight of these things that confront the sectors, we pick out major points, which include state institutional responsibilities are fragmented. There is weak policy enforcement. There is lack of or limited support for regulatory authority. There is no standalone policy for sanitation. And the major one is low financial appropriation, especially from public budget. And the latter challenge makes the need for the establishment of the Standing Committee. Here's the background of where we come from. What's the status of sanitation in Liberia? You can see from analysis that a prevalence of 35% of our inhabitants practice open defecation, especially in rural areas where open defecation is most. Feces are everywhere, and 17% of this population has, only 17% of this population has access to improved sanitation. Imagine for a country to be developed, to have just 70% of your population having access to improved sanitation. So we all agree that there's a need to pay more attention, not only attention, but to ensure that there's a legislation to have a standing committee that will provide oversight to improve sanitation in our country. If we must live longer, if our case must be healthy, we need to ensure that this committee is established. 35% of existing clinics and schools lack adequate access to water and sanitation facilities. Can you imagine? So we cannot overstate that 8.33% of our GDP must be invested into WASH. been analyzed that 70%, Liberia loses 17.5 million on sanitation every year because of the poor sanitation in our sanitation. If we can improve the sanitation sector, the waste sector, we will not lose all this amount. Please go back, Timothy. We lose 1.9 million on access time. The time we spend looking for areas to defecate. Take for example, you come to town, Central Monrovia. If you are jammed, you all can bear me witness. If you are jammed and need to ease yourself, you spend so much time on accessing private place to defecate. It should not be so. About 8.4 million each year is lost due to premature death, where we have over 3,000 Liberians, including 1,000 So, having said this, how is sanitation currently funded in our country? And I would like to ask my colleague Judas to just pick it up from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Women, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your listening role. We appreciate the fact that these statistics can come out so that all of us can look at them and make some informed decisions. We want to thank our CWSA colleagues who provided these statistics to us. And so based on these statistics, but all of this is based on when she presented the sector challenges, there was one of them that was in red, which has to do with low budgeting, especially for public financing. And so in order to vividly understand what that is, this is how all of these analysis information is coming forward. So not to waste our time, donor funding for the sector, the white sector, accounts for only 95%. Account for so much 95%. So all of the money presently that is being used on the sector is coming from donors, almost all, because 2% is nothing to think of. The National Sanitation Budget approved for landmines, landline ministries in FY fiscal year 2023 was $169,389,622, with allocation directed towards any open defecation, hand washing project, and watch in schools interventions. And this represented 0.00387% of Liberia's gross domestic product in 2023. So you can see it is put into graphic in terms of this, the state institutions that have received whatever that was part of the graph is the Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, National Public Health Institute of Liberia, the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Next. What does this data tell us? There is no clarity given to watch, and especially sanitation at all levels of the government. That is what this data is suggesting. There is a limited commitment to increase financing for sanitation through WASH allocations. And then the issue of political will. How can we address this underfunding situation of the sector? Three key suggestions here as to how we address the underfunding situation. National and county governments should strive to increase WASH sanitation allocations to surpass pre-devolution levels and move closer to the PAPD target for WASH. The PAPD had a target for WASH, so how do we move? What did the PAPD do in the past is another question. At the national level, the legislature should increase the development budget allocation for the public sector investment plan to reduce over-reliance on donor resources. What sector should advocate in the budget cycle to increase budget allocations for WASH-related programs through our line ministries, particularly the National WASH Commission and the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Can we? So here, CWSA focus areas to increase sanitation financing. For CWSA says that, look, advocate for a portion of county development find a portion in that money that is directed to the next thing that CWSA thinks is that allocate and strengthen the rural financing for WASH sanitation. And then CWSA also thinks that we should introduce hypothecated taxes for WASH sanitation. So, all of this combined together for which we have called this meeting, what do we intend? What do we intend to get out of it? What is the end result? The outcome that we expect to get out of this entire process is a resolution for the establishment of the task standing committee on WASH, rating and sponsored by members of the WASH caucus within the national legislature, currently within the national legislature, and then we move on from there in establishing in lobbying for the establishment of the standing committee. So it brings us to the end of this presentation. If there are questions and answers, but we appreciate that the questions and answers be taken after the last presentation so that we will have all in all. So if you have questions on this presentation, you can kindly write them down, and as we conclude the next presentation, then we move forward in order to manage time well. Thank you, Lord. I know myself saying, but thank you for that really well. So and
we have had
let us say thanks to
presentation
also investigation for that another presentation. We like to all of our participants
some adjustment.
so please moderate improvement. Thank you.
So much for watching Skype.
Let's focus on the presentations that I want to made. At this time, we have stated the overview of the project with highlighted sector challenges and also analyze the budgets of the country. Now we're going to call
Certificate bearer who is the watch consultant. And as a matter of fact, is a subject matter expert. So